Welcome back now. As party season starts to get into swing, most of us put our healthy eating resolutions on hold till January.
Nutritionist Heather Leeson has some tips to make it easier to stay on track over the festive season. Good morning, Heather.
Morning.
How are you?
Good morning. I am great. Thank
Now,
you very much.
What to and what not to eat and drink
Exactly.
over the crimble.
Yes. Now, you always accuse me of being the Grinch,
Not
and
at
I am
all.
not here to do
No,
that.
the words
I'm going
never
to
pass my lips.
share some tips on how you can have a bit of crack,
Okay.
but not end up in January with the dreads, with the horrors.
But listen, so many of us need to keep an eye on weight. And in terms of indulging over a couple of weeks, it's fantastic. And I love doing it. And I think, I'll worry about it in January. But then January comes along and it's not as easy to motivate yourself.
No, and there's a couple of things there. So how much do we, on average, gain over the Christmas period? Anyone know? Do you know?
I'd say half a stone.
2 pounds?
Yeah, half a stone.
Half a stone?
That's the average. So some of us gain less and some of us gain more. And it's the mindset, Asher, I'll wait until January. I'll look after it in January. And I've had one mince pie, so I might as well have another 3.
And I suppose you're visiting family, friends, and there's people putting food out in front of you constantly.
And
It's
you
such
don't
an
want to be
Irish
rude.
welcoming
And
thing.
you just pick.
And the social aspect is really important. But there's 3 things that will... They're kind of 3 areas that you need to watch. First of all, the demon drink. Of
was gonna
course,
say the booze.
it's lovely going out. But we have an extra, on average, 60 drinks over the Christmas period. And that's
60.
calories and liver. So 2 or 3 things that you can do. First of all, do not drink on an empty stomach. Quote Simon, eating's cheating. I'm sure you've told me that before, but that is not true. It's the one way to guarantee yourself a hangover if you don't...
Yeah. You don't drink, actually, a
You
huge
don't
amount.
drink
Not an awful lot,
on an
no.
empty stomach. So have something to eat even before you go out. Something like, I don't know, a sandwich or even soup. There's a couple of ideas for foods there that you can just grab in the supermarket on your way out, but have something to eat. So that the alcohol's not hitting an empty
So if you're at the
stomach.
office party and food isn't until late in the evening and you start having a few drinks after work at 6 o'clock, there's a 3-hour window there, potentially an empty tummy.
Exactly. Yeah. So either don't drink, wait till you sit down to eat, which is maybe not realistic, or have something small. Have something small.
What about the myth of drinking water in between each glass? Doesn't make a difference.
It makes a massive difference. So that's probably number 1 tip. Between every alcoholic drink, have a non-alcoholic drink, ideally water. So it's going to slow you down. It's going to help avoid the hangover. And there's loads of things you can drink now. So, of course, water. People say, oh, it's so boring. Loads of different fancy cordials. If you're going to a party or you're having people around, for the drivers even, there's, all of the supermarkets have lovely types of cordials you can mix with sparkling water. Loads of really good Irish brands. There's even things that, like tonic water syrup, turmeric syrup, to be really trendy, that you can dilute with sparkling water. And then non-alcoholic beverages like Seedlip, which is the non-alcoholic gin.
Never heard of that.
Yeah,
it's the non-alcoholic beers are lovely.
Yeah. And non-alcoholic Prosecco you can buy.
Do you not think
now,
half it's psychological, though? If you're standing there holding a bottle of beer, chatting to your friends, and if yours doesn't have alcohol in it, you tend to forget anyway.
You do.
Exactly. And I think people will comment maybe, oh, you're so boring, you're not drinking, whereas if they don't know, nobody has to have that discussion if you've got...
It's desperate even having that peer pressure to face, but look, it is in existence.
Is that day gone, though, is it?
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. But
You'd hope
for the younger.
And the other thing about water is before you go to bed, have a pint of water before you go to bed, and maybe throw in something like a B complex. I love the Revive Active for that is my number 1.
I use them all the time.
Pure. Yeah,
They're
for
amazing.
energy, but
Have they got salts in it?
They've got loads of minerals and loads of B vitamins, so that is a really good thing to give you energy the next day and help metabolise the alcohol.
I use them kind of all year round.
Yeah, they're fab.
Like when I was on stage now. Just for
Did you
energy
notice
levels,
the
they're
difference?
fantastic. Yeah, really good.
Moving on to the party nibbles, you're saying avoid at all costs. Are they hidden calories, or is it just we don't realise how much we're eating?
Well, both. Now, they're a bit of a calorie bomb. So something like a mince pie, 250 calories. If you're eating a load of those over Christmas, so think about, you rock up to the party or to the do, you have a few nibbles as well, and that might amount up to, so this little plate here, the mince pie and a few nibbles, throw a few crisps on top of that.
1,000 calories.
And a couple of drinks, 1,000
And
calories.
this is before you get
haven't
food.
eaten.
No
you
dinner.
haven't eaten. Exactly.
This is before you eat.
So
Right.
stay away from the nibbles. Anything with breadcrumbs, anything with pastry, stay away from it. Have maybe olives or a few nuts if you're trying to get the food in before you
It's
drink.
easy to see where the half a stone is coming from.
Watch them. They're absolutely lethal. Yeah. And, the same like the bread basket, get it off the table, or dessert. By the time we get to dessert, we've had our nibbles, start our main course. We're just not really hungry for in most cases. Have a couple of spoons and leave it.
We're
Don't
doing
finish
it 'cause it's there, aren't
Yeah,
we?
exactly.
I love the turmeric one. That's a kind of a super spice, isn't it?
It is absolutely
They talk about
delicious.
that in Asian
turmeric,
cooking all the time
Yeah.
in terms of cancer and the medicinal qualities in that.
Yeah,
and that's
I love
something
it.
you pop into water. Is it a cordial?
So this is a really interesting Irish turmeric cordial. Yeah, it's from a little Galway company
Can I have a
called
little
the American Apothecary. Get it
Apothecary.
online, and they've loads of really interesting syrups. You know, you want something a little bit interesting.
I take
to
turmeric
serve
spray
to people.
every day.
Yeah, it's really good anti-inflammatory
really?
Yeah,
properties.
I
You
take
can
it
eat
every
it
day.
as well. You know, some people throw it into the porridge. I love it in curries, in smoothies. It's good as well.
Yeah, it's a real buzz right now about turmeric.
It stains.
You mentioned the 5-2 diet, and you're not saying dieting as in go on a strict diet, because that's just misery for everybody involved.
Well, you're not going to do it before Christmas anyway.
No.
Now, 5-2, just to say, I wouldn't recommend it all the time. Nobody come in to complain. I'm not saying everybody should do it. If you're diabetic, do not do it. If you've got an underlying health condition, don't do it. But for some of us, coming up to Christmas, it's great. So you watch for 2 days a week, you eat less than 500 or 600 calories. That gives you a little bit more room to manoeuvre, and it's easy to do. You'd have 3 meals, you'd have something like natural yogurt and a few berries for breakfast, maybe a soup, something like, if you didn't want to make it, just a fresh soup with tomatoes and beans or something for lunch, and an omelette and salad for dinner. Couple of days a week, and you've saved a load of calories. You're a little bit more aware what you're eating, and you've got more room to manoeuvre. So that can be a big help for the short term, not the long term.
There's a real buzz about that at the moment, and also intermittent fasting, which I find might be quite easy.
Fasting is
Intermittent fasting.
amazing. Now, we do that with some of the high-performance corporate teams we work with, not 5-2, in a different way. And no doubt be in January talking about that, because it'll be very topical.
Intermittent fasting, I think, is manageable. If,
Yes.
let's say, you know you're out on a Friday night, but you're staying in on a Saturday,
Yeah.
it's essentially maybe not eating from 8 p.m. So you have your lovely dinner as usual.
Okay.
Maybe a cup of tea and a biscuit if you want, but from 8 p.m. until like 12 or 1 the next day, is it? You're saying not a biscuit?
Yeah, I would advise it a little bit differently to that.
Well,
but
what
it's-
would you advise?
What would you actually say?
I would
to
say
me?
stop eating earlier. And
Really?
then,
6
6 o'clock, and then do maybe 14 hours. Depends. Now, again, not suitable
Right.
for everybody. Some people will do a little
So
bit
6
longer.
to 10 or 8 to
Yeah, that
lunch.
is very manageable, but not in party season, because you're out, and it's more
Yeah, yeah.
sociable to be eating and drinking later on. So not
And
in
it's
party
just
season.
it's just the whole message of overindulgence, isn't
Yeah,
it? In
it
terms
is.
of alcohol,
Yeah,
and
in
food.
terms of everything, and it's this idea. Look, sure, we can go mad now. We'll sort it in January. So the other thing that goes out the window is exercise, because we're busy. But actually, if you keep up the exercise, the gyms are quieter, and especially if you're going out for an event, if you exercise that morning or maybe at lunchtime, you've got a little bit more wiggle room.
That's true.
With calories,
Yeah,
not much,
you
but a
burn the
little.
calories, yeah.
Because you're not going to do it when you're tired the next day.
But for those of us who aren't gym bunnies,
Yeah.
my exercise would consist of a walk or else a
Perfect.
cycle.
Yeah,
But
perfect.
it's harder to do in the winter. Because
It
it
is.
starts dark and it's
It
lashing
is.
around at 5 o'clock.
But that's-
It's very hard to motivate yourself to get out and go for a walk.
It
for an
is,
hour.
but if you can pop out even 20 minutes at lunchtime,
Yeah.
would be great. If you've got, say, the office party or some sort of an event at 6 o'clock, get out at
Yeah.
lunchtime for 20 minutes, half an hour. If you do that 2 or 3 times a week, okay, it's not going to change your body,
Yeah,
but
but
it's
with
giving
some
you
form
a
of
bit.
regularity, it's giving you a head
Exactly.
start, isn't it?
Exactly, a head start, so that you don't hit January and think, oh, I have a mountain to climb now.
What I'm getting from this, Heather, is really just to be mindful, because
Yeah.
we tend to think December, let's go mad, we deserve it. And of course we deserve to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, we
but
do.
hitting the slump in January can
Yeah.
be quite a slump.
Exactly. So just think about it. And maybe if you don't love mince pies, then don't just blindly take it. Say, no, I'm not going to have it today. I'll have what I really want tomorrow.
Can I make an admission?
Depends.
Live on television. I've never eaten a mince pie in my life.
Okay.
I don't like them either.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan either.
Do you not?
No.
Well, we're
I thought
okay.
I was in the
mince pie.
minority.
We're feeling
I thought I was in
smug.
the minority. But there's loads of us.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll stay off them this Christmas then
Okay,
as
well done, Simon.
Yeah,
well
that's-
done. That's an amazing one.
Just
That's
saying
my
to
December resolution.
250 calories. Thanks so much
My
for coming
pleasure.
in,
Thank you
Heather.
very
Actually,
much,
some really
Heather.
interesting
Pleasure.
points there this
Great.
morning, so thank you.
Right, still to come this morning, Mike Denver's Talking Country Road.
And we're going to have more festive prints over in the catwalk. Stay with us. We're live until midday.